Good evening, Sagittarius. This is David with Tarot and Astrology for All, bringing you your reading for the next 7 days. Now, before I rolled for your sign, I had to roll quite a bit, but I started spinning it, and once I started spinning it, it landed on yours. The two stones that I drew before spinning for your sign was the hematite and this stone right here, which is the one of the stones that's connected to the moonstones. Now, the moonstones that I drew were these two after I had did a moon ritual. So the way that I see it is this right here is a stone called hematite, and the stone hematite is good for grounding. It's good for stimulating pragmatic action, and pragmatic action in a sense of basically looking at things from a very balanced and down-to-earth state. And the moon is all about, intuition, guidance from, let's say, cards like the High Priestess. And when you focus in your mind on moon energy, what ends up happening is that you have that heightened intuition. Now, this right here is also one of those stones that's connected to higher intuition, but this right here helps you to organize your thinking. This will also help to organize your intuitive thoughts and your clairvoyant thoughts, clairaudient thoughts, and things like that. So I think that both of these put together is a perfect and synonymous, I would say it's a perfect balance, right? You have the light and you have the dark as well. So this one right here is perfect for bringing out your innate magical abilities too. And as it stands, when you feel this hematite, and I want to make sure that I emphasize this, get you one of these because it's a very, very grounding type of energy. And it also helps you to basically organize not just your thoughts, but also your emotions and your spiritual intuitive messages. Now, one of the things that I will say is that this right here is connected to the root chakra, and that's what allows for the calming sensation to overcome your body. Supposedly, this is good for wearing it on your left side, iron, stuff like that. It has a very magnetic quality to it, so definitely get you one of these. Now, I want to go ahead and start drawing cards for you and not go too much into the stones too well. Now, also one thing I do want to emphasize is that when I rolled for your sign, you had the sign of Capricorn and Leo. Now, the energy of Leo is probably something that you've been feeling as of late. The energy of Leo is about courage. It's also about bravery and basically doing what's right and standing strong in your character. And of course, with that Capricorn energy, that's going to allow you to build a lot of different things by trusting your intuition and also grounding yourself. It also provides mental clarity, and it also provides protection from negative energy as well. Not just your own that might build within your body, but negative energy from other people that are around you. All right, so yes, I definitely feel that there are some negative energies around you. When it comes to the Scorpion, and that's the first stage of Scorpio, this is a very, very obsessive energy, and this energy really doesn't care if it destroys itself in the process, or the people who wield this energy don't really care if they destroy themselves in the process. So beware of that, and beware of any influences which might cause you to trigger some, I would say actions, emotions, or even thinking that would push you into that direction. Now, I would also consider this similar to South Node energy. So pay attention to that and don't be drawn into past programming. All right, so I think this past programming in some way, shape, or form is connected to not having your voice heard, right? Calling out to the universe, maybe even some anger, some resentment built around that. Now, these are things that maybe you've been thinking about for a while. It's connected to your emotions because when you look at the nightingale, it's sitting on a big orb, And usually these orbs, doesn't matter where you see them, whether it's the Rider Waite or any other tarot deck, they usually refer to emotions. So these are things that you've been feeling for a little while. You've been calling out to the universe, maybe to remove them or to take them away. But I very much feel that you're going through these things, and it's, excuse me, and it's a necessary aspect, because there's a need for grounding and balance, and you can only experience that when you take action on that. All right, so at the bottom of it, you have the Phoenix in the reverse. That's actually the last. That's actually the last stage of Scorpio, and when a Scorpion goes from Scorpio to ego, when it goes from Scorpion to ego phase, is basically you're starting to understand things from a higher purpose. But I very much feel that you are in what would be considered the ego phase of your life, and you're just waiting to transform into the Phoenix, which is the overall most powerful portion of the Scorpionic energy. Now, let's go ahead and draw some Fairy Oracle deck cards, and we'll see what's at the bottom of these emotions. Now, I kind of got that feeling about emotions too, and about moon energy, right? Moon is connected to the 4th house, and it's also connected to what we might feel within ourselves. Oh, okay, so yeah, it definitely is connected to dark energy. And when it comes to the Dark Lady is one of those energies that is connected to the moon. So when it comes to releasing this negative energy, releasing this dark energy, whatever this energy is revolving around your emotions, and of course these things that trigger you, there's a very big need to pay attention to it. Now, I very much feel that it's connected to, well, unfounded fears. And usually when Gi-hyob shows up, especially in the upright, there's unfounded fears that maybe you're holding within yourself. Maybe this is a thing that needs to be released in order for you to reach your Phoenix stage. Because in some way, shape, or form, I kind of get the feeling that you see other people going through transformations, and you're expecting for yourself to go through a transformation too, but you can't really expect yourself to go through a transformation, when you don't really have the necessary tools. Now, I very much feel that once you get rid of this, which is sitting in between both the Scorpion and the Nightingale in the reverse, you'll be able to undergo that transformation as well. And I very much, oh wow. 1 second. Okay. Let's see. Oh, man, what is going on, Sagittarius? All right. So it's about the giving and receiving principle. Now, that's actually pretty fitting when it comes to the Nightingale, or on the side of the Nightingale. You might be giving too much and letting these fears about how it's going to come to you get in the way. Now, I feel like some of you guys have been getting over that prospect, and you guys are starting to understand, hey, you know what? The universe is going to give me something, but it's going to give me something in a different manner, right? So I feel that there's certain, I was going to say that there's certain things that are necessary to cut out. I would feel like these fears are definitely one of them, right? So once you do that, you actually connect yourself to the energy of the universe, which is the fawn type energy. And this allows you to slow down and basically pay attention to what's going on in the universe. Now, I mentioned the 4th house. Maybe this is something that's happening inside the home, or the home sphere, or who would you consider home and family? Maybe these are the people who are causing this Scorpionic energy to take place. And it's maybe also what's causing the triggering as well. maybe there's something that you've been saying to people in your home sector, and maybe they haven't been hearing you. So it may be necessary to cut some of them out as well. Not necessarily cut them out completely, but cut them out until you can deal with them. Maybe there's fears about what would happen if you cut them out. Maybe they feel like you would abandon them, but don't worry about that. All right, so I very much feel that with the Page of Cups in the reverse, there's a message that you've been waiting for, maybe a message for emotional fulfillment of some kind. And I feel that because you haven't been receiving that message, that maybe it's a love message. Maybe you've been waiting to hear something from a significant other. Maybe you've been waiting to hear something from somebody who you would like to have as a significant other. But for those of you who aren't in that situation, I very much feel that you're waiting for a message from the universe, maybe a message from source itself. And sometimes if you don't get that, then you might feel like you're being left alone. You might feel like the universe is not on your side, and you might try to do things to self-sabotage yourself. I can honestly say that a lot of the times we self-sabotage ourselves, but we don't really know why. And I think one of those things is something that you should find out. I very much feel it's very much connected to fear, unfounded fears. And usually that's what keeps us from doing various different things in our lives. Now, those fears are definitely keeping you from personal happiness. And when we speak about personal happiness, and it's not a surprise that all of these are coming out as cups, it's the water signs, right? And when we talk about the emotions, a lot of the times the emotions, when it's not in line with our thoughts, will not manifest anything into our reality. Actually, if our emotions are set in a certain manner and our thoughts in some way, shape, or form, align with that energy we have here, that's what's going to be created into reality. Oh, no. All right, so I very much feel that you should be on the lookout for these various different things that the universe might be sending to you. There's a line that I remember from Russ, and he says, everything will be presented in its due time, probably across a few lines. So when the universe gives you something, Sagittarius, it's not going to give it to you from that one person or from this one other person. It's probably going to approach you from something completely different than what you expect. And that's the key. You want to release your fears, right? You want to go ahead and get rid of these fears that are keeping you up at night and that are also manifesting themselves into reality. And you want to be able to focus on, instead, on your personal happiness and what you need to fill these cups, right? And only you are going to be able to do that. You can't really focus on anyone else. Now, in terms of speaking out to the universe, there's a certain language that the universe understands, and that's the language of the heart. So if you're not manifesting the positive things that you want in your life, change the language in here, which changes the language in here as well. And once those two meld together into a cohesive wavelength, then the universe sends it to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll this die now and see what happens as far as energy from the future and how you can manage it. Acquiring an energy, so network, connect to other people, talk to people, show them care. And at the same time as you're connecting with them and you're communicating with them, what's gonna happen is that the universe is gonna reveal the truth to you across multiple different lines. So pay attention to that. Yes, be assertive and use that Martian type energy and that ambition to follow your dreams. Now, a lot of the times we might feel that pull for our soul to be pushing us into a certain direction. And a lot of the times we might not be conscious of it, but be on the lookout for that, because when you think about how the universe is sending you these blessings from these other angles, what ends up happening is that you understand what's going on and how your expression is based on those things. And you know, you might do something good for some person here, but then the universe is going to send you something from the other side. And so it's your job to look at this other side and see how that can be a benefit to you and how that could be a blessing or be considered a blessing. All right, so, but the choice is yours. You got a 2 right here. Now, this is something you're going to have to do on an everyday level, which is represented by the 6. And flanking either side of that 6 is the 10 and the 1. So you can reach completion in these things that that allow you to give and take, right? You just have to be conscious of it and looking out for it in the most unlikely places. And it's definitely something that's connected to the thought process and epiphanies. The universe might actually be giving you epiphanies, and you might not even be realizing it. But make sure that anytime you get some type of epiphany where you're just like, you know what? That's crazy. I never really thought about this before. Go ahead and write it down. Because as soon as you start writing all these things down and then you read that list later on, you'll end up finding out, oh, wow, the universe has been giving me something all along. So with that, thank you, Scorpio. I mean, not Scorpio. Thank you, Sagittarius, and for being here. If you feel that this resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe it. And definitely share it because other Sagittarians need to hear this message as well. I very much feel that a lot of them are dealing with unfounded fears, and that's usually something that is, well, something that manifests within Sagittarians until they realize their true ability to connect to source. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say farewell. You guys have a good night, and I will see you 7 days from now.